Hi, hello, and welcome to the Gorgeous Oracle Report brought to you by Vertex of Abundance. My name is Briefings. I'll be your oracle today, also known as Ablosima, also known as Baba Sakata, etc. So let's see here. The Gorgeous Oracle Report's been off the air for a while. The format has shifted. It's kind of like a monthly, sometimes bi-monthly check-in with the audience, which is literally the congregation. If that doesn't make sense or doesn't fit with you yet, great. I would just advise that you get in where you fit in. And just go towards what resonates. You know, sometimes we'll do retractions and revisions, sometimes we'll do course corrections, etc. I'm gonna go ahead and get this energy out here. Okay. So the Gorgeous Oracle Report, as I said, it's just kind of like, I'm hearing the word verbal newsletter. I'd like to develop that concept and idea just a little bit more because I am confused by that. And we're gonna do the Presidio spread. If you don't know what that is, don't worry. It's a 36 card reading. Basically, a 13 position by 36 card reading. Okay. All right, so it seems like we might be standing strong against something. We might either need to hold our defenses or we might need to try another push. Weariness can be the word. There's been a lot of shifts and changes in the temple. The temple's really right now in community. Here in Portland, I'm alone. And unfortunately, I keep getting pushed back by spirit. So I'm saying we need to be using the words we. So the main thing to understand is that if there's things about me or we, the temple, or things that are coming out, coming through that resonate with you, it's best to make contact. Oracle@ablosi.org, oracle@vertexofabundance.org, oracle@priestessgorgeous.org. All of those still work. I have a direct email address, ma@ablosi.org. I don't check my own email often. It does get checked twice a week. It's just not private. I do have a private email address that goes directly to my tablet. You don't need to know it because it won't come from a public space like this. You know, there's been a delineation on the content, you know, because Vertex of Abundance is really a sacred news channel delivering messages from behind the veil. And it's a collective, a cohesive community of different resources, okay? So vertex is just the highest point at which vertex is the highest point at which a vortex climaxes, culminates, etc. So think of it as like a summit, a resting place that people come to stop in when they're passing through to a destination. So destination is always your voodoo, okay? So we are the new world interface for the Supreme Voodoo Principality. I want to talk about some specific context, but you know, this Oracle report is supposed to come out on the 22nd of every month. Yours truly has been just a little tired, going through a detox. Sometimes there's extreme bursts of energy, sometimes there's a lethargy. Nothing's the matter other than ratcheting up What else is there? There's also a little bit of information needed for some of you about the content. I'm not in a place to talk about the content. I'd rather just spend time preparing and then put that in the show notes on, or the channel description on Vertex of Abundance, okay? Now, Vertex of Abundance, usually if the video is longer than 15 minutes, with exception of the sermon and the Oracle report, what's gonna happen is you click through to other channels or you click through to the temple website. So deeply personalized, regular, consistent content is going to come with a price eventually. That's been the plan for several years. Yours truly, meaning myself, I have a tendency to detach from anything, even if it's relevant. I mean, I had a channel with thousands of subscribers and I just left it alone because the energy wasn't right for me. I understand that some people feel it's a responsibility to preach to their platform. I'm not unaware of that. I just didn't feel like I had a platform because nobody was there for the reason that I wanted them to be there for. So I wasn't in alignment and congruency with whatever the expectations were. And I'm too Aquarian, I will walk away. I'm not attached to things other than the truth, other than shared beliefs and ideas. That's the only thing that makes me commit, okay? So coming at me with something else ain't gonna work. And we can say that and move on. The content is still here. The 1111 Divine Lovers, the Revolving Door, those are flagship products. That's what put us and me, myself on the map. But you realize that was with Priestess Gorgeous back in like 2015. And then I left Priestess Gorgeous because my name changed when I went through the Vodun naming ceremony. I was named Ablosima. And it actually came out that I had the goddess with 1,000 arms, which means every goddess. I'm very mummy. I'm very, very mummy. And I went through this masculization period. And you have to understand there's no man inside. This is not my own opinion, although I knew that all my life. It came out in my naming ceremony that there's no masculine energy inside me. The masculine energy that's inside of me is really more when I get mounted, ridden by spirits. And since I'm higher up in the hierarchy for the temple, that doesn't happen rarely without a stronger intention. So, you know, I had to leave Priestess Gorgeous aside for a minute because it felt out of alignment and incongruent. And I went back to it recently because I've decided to call the school the lay person's gateway into the sacred world. That school, which is under an umbrella, which is under a larger umbrella, but that school is called the Gorgeous Mystery School of Sacred Art and Devotional Practices. It's part of what we call Iced Rama. Rama means the Radha Academy for Metaphysical Advancement, which is basically like, I don't want to use the word non-prestigious, but that's a school that's easier to qualify for entry into because it deals with the common denominator, which can mean common folk, but not really. It means somebody that's difficult to prove lineage. And a lot of people, a lot of us, we hear these words and we start parroting all these regurgitated beliefs that were conditioned and indoctrinated into us. So I had a moment of needing to take a minute because I was living in a moldy basement, well, working out of a moldy basement, let's say, but that house that I was in was on a hill, the bottom of a hill where all the rainwater would come. This is Portland, so it rains a lot. I also had an abscess that was infecting my brain, so I was kind of like not there. I was going through a divorce. I had some other things going on. I was actually under consistent attack by a demonic king in town. I could like itemize a list of just drama on top of drama, but it was even worse because I was growing cold, not mean-hearted, but just prickly beyond the difference between warm and fuzzy and cold and prickly. I was prickly on the border of mean, on the border of cruel, because I needed space and I wasn't getting it. You know, people want to love on you and they want to come in trying to support you and they don't do the the rapport building exercise of figuring out what your needs are. There's a difference between someone coming in and saying, well, here's my judgment, here's what you need, versus saying, help me feel better about this, help me understand this, I'm concerned, help me understand your intention so that I can be of support. I'm a solitary individual, but I'm not when I have responsibilities, meaning I'm a one-to-many person, I'm not a one-on-one person. And if you want a one-on-one relationship with me, you must have a voodoo name. And this is the law of the house, this is the law of the temple, this is the law of my community. It also came out of my naming ceremony that I'm a ruler, I'm not a peasant. So I don't live or align with a lot of baser, common day principles, concepts, and ideas. My standards are not low. Basic, ordinary things do not please me. Common things do not satisfy me. That ain't nobody's problem but my own. So I had to adopt, I had to adopt, I had to adopt, I had to adapt, I had to adapt, I had to adapt, I had to heal, I had to heal, I had to heal. Because my passion got lost and I was aware of that, but I didn't know that it was health problems combined with spiritual problems, combined with psychic problems. And I had never taken the time to itemize my gifts and the lifestyle and the self-care that's needed to stay in a healthy container with those gifts. And I do believe that when you have a gift, it's your responsibility to share that with the world. The one thing I refuse to do is go back home to Mausepo Lisa and have to explain to them why I did not use my gifts. So if you didn't know, I'm back, we're back. And there's some things, because I had to dump people. You know, I had some Celtic sisters, I had some Mayan sisters, and I love the Mayan culture. It's the same in any religion. You know, voodoo means source, it means ancient. Everything that you see today is based off principles of the voodoo. Whether you like it or not, understand it or not, agree with it or not, it's the truth. The truth is incontrovertible. Malice may attack it, ignorance may derail it, but in the end, it still remains. And back in the day, the ancient world, Egypt was actually a worldwide civilization and culture, and it had laws, it had government, it had all of that. And there was Western Egypt, Southern Egypt, Northern Egypt, and Egypt, meaning northern and upper and lower. And believe it or not, Upper Egypt was actually away from the Red Sea, further down towards what back in the day, Nubia, current day Ethiopia, Eritrea, Kenya, going down that way, that was Upper Egypt. And Lower Egypt was actually closer to Lebanon, Jerusalem, and the Red Sea. So that was the Mecca, that was the city, that was the capital of Egypt. And Egypt wasn't just, 40,000, 50, 60,000 years like we're told. It was literally Sumeria, Mesopotamia, all of that folded into Egypt. And understand it this way, Atlantis is part of Egypt. All of that came after Lemuria. So there was a time in this world when the keepers of this container, because the earth is a library where you come to school, it was women, sacred women, Nubian women, Mu. And then it began the Aryan, which is really talking about coming from certain specific stars closer to the Orion technology. And when that came, the truth began to get degraded and degraded and degraded. And that's not just over, a couple of thousand years, it's over a couple dozen cycles, okay? So it's possible that Egypt lasted 600,000 years. And understand that when the controllers and the colonizers really got a hold, the firmest hold was created after 1645 or 43 or something. But it's been a systemic thing longer before that. But so you have to understand that the history books, the religious books, the science books, those are instruments of enslavement. And the best slave craft, the best slave technology is to get somebody to co-opt their own power. So I'm saying all of these things to give us a better understanding. I always intended this channel to be your matrix through your chariot through the universal matrix, your ship over the seas of time, a sacred news channel delivering messages from behind the veil. So it was always intended for you to come get a 5, 10, 15-minute and then click through, whether it's to the temple website, which has a paid membership wall, whether it's to another channel, which is the individualized content for that specific oracle. So oracle is a priestess, okay? A priestess is not always an oracle. An oracle is always a priestess, okay? So in that sense, all of the newscasters on the news channel, Vertex of Abundance, are oracles, okay? You must understand that. And I was talking about my Mayan sisters, I was talking about my Celtic sisters. They need to convert to the voodoo technology, or at least get their voodoo names, because I can't offer that here. I need to be congruent and cohesive. I need to be the fearless leader. Well, you see, I have adopted a life for myself where I could be a rat cunt bitch. I don't mean it that way, but I could be prickly, I could be scary, I could be ferocious, I could be bloodthirsty. And basic little humans are not going to be able to handle that. When a lion goes to the watering hole, don't you think the zebras get a little crazy? Don't you think the hippos get a little crazy? The other ones that don't get a little crazy are the hyenas, because they are crazy. Okay? The only animal that's not fearful of a lion is an elephant, because the elephant is the keeper of wisdom and the lion is the keeper of power, divine power. So we need to understand it this way. We need to manage expectations or re-acclimate to the policies, procedures, and protocols, okay? Because before we have an upswing, an upshift, we roll out more things, we really need to understand the concepts of community building, nation building. I am here to build for my people. I envision a world where we're supporting women-owned businesses, where we're supporting minority-owned businesses, because that minority, the more melanin you have, the more you can trace your roots back to an ancient lineage. And the less melanin you have, it could either be a punishment, or it could mean that you're just from a younger root race. And you're not, but you're from a younger root race here upon the earth. Okay, so now we're dealing with star seeds, which don't always have melanin. There's nothing wrong with that. And just because you're light skinned doesn't mean you don't have melanin. I want to be very specific what non-melanated beings are, and the word Aryan goes along with it. But Aryan is really more dealing with Aries, the constellations between Aries and Gemini. Not so much to deal with the Nazis. Although the controllers and the global agenda of hiding the truth about this planet that we're in is closely related to the Nazis. So I don't want to say anymore, because these words tend to be sensational. They evoke strong reactions. And see, me, part of my gift is to understand that when I speak truth and the person becomes agitated, there's more truth to it. Because I like people who can laugh things off. I always thought I was scary to people, and then I started hanging out with a group of lionesses, a group of queens. And I was held for the first time and seen for the first time and understood for the first time by people who weren't in my own family. And I needed that love, I needed that care, I needed that sanctuary, I needed that safety to find my strength again, because I did lose my passions. I did lose passion for having a YouTube channel. You know, I came back in 2015, but I was on YouTube back in 2008. I was a financial planner back then, and had a much bigger following than I've ever had on YouTube. I think the most I've ever had in terms of subscribers was like 4,300 on one channel. I have a few channels though, so who knows what that number really is. And I was getting 8,300 views, 10,000 views on some of my love videos. And then I just grew tired of it. And I have, you know, less than 1,000 views on any individual video today. And it's fine. I believe it's easier to give birth to new children than it is to resurrect the dead. I'm not gonna start a project that I'm not gonna finish. And in order to do that, I need to be right within myself. And in order to do that, I need to have a clean and strong intention. And I'm only investing my time in people who are interested in the Vudun. When you come to me as a client, understand that I do Vudun. When you come to me as a student, understand that I am Vudun. When you come to me to be a spiritual child, understand that I do Vudun. We are Vudun. This is the supreme Vudun principality. Basically, I am Egypt West. And if that doesn't align with you, this is not for you. Get in where you fit in, plug and play. Find what resonates with you, but don't come to me with some unaligned expectation. It will not go well. And the same goes for me. I don't want you to feel like I'm making threats. When I talk to people and they feel threatened, it means I'm a lion and you're a lamb and you're in fear for your life because I'm a predator and you are prey. That's what that means when I speak to you and you feel threatened. Just so you know, you may not be able to take my word for it, but go find some resources to educate yourself. This is not to bash you, to beat you. This is to lay down the law. I will be the judge. This is my community. I curate the content, period. Even if you see somebody else's face up on this channel, this is how we roll. Do you understand? This is policy, procedure, and protocol. Do you understand? Now, there's some revisions and retractions, which I'll come through, but I'm just going to notate some things. I do have a tendency to code switch when I'm talking about things. So unless it's a straight channel, I'm really noticing that I put some videos on the channel that were a little harsh, and I don't really want to clean anything up. But if I'm going to speak harshly, I need to direct people on where to mend their little precious heart, meaning, if you got to get screamed at, you need to know what's expected of you next time. And I don't believe in screaming. An employer, a king, a boss should not be screaming. And it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be angry in the home. It's okay to be angry in the workplace, but expressing your anger needs to be strongly intentioned. And even if I feel I've done that, but I'm not modeling I'm not mirroring the model. I'm not sharing the model to express indignation. Okay, however righteous it may be. So I do believe I need to lead by example, but I need sisters who understand me, because all these people come at me with all this whining and I'm not hearing the intention, I'm not hearing the purpose, I'm not hearing anybody that understands the purpose for being here, so I just feel drained. And I don't mind if I have 1,000 babies sucking on my teeth, but you know what? We all need to know that we're lions, we all need to find our inner lioness. And if you're not a lion, you need to be an alligator, because those are the two ancient archetypes for rulership on this plane: the alligator in the sea, and the lion on the land. We have the eagle in the air, but that usually just comes as a solar being. We call those the rainbow serpents, which are basically dragons. And actually, that's the blueprint of every other archetype, because the snake crawls up the spine, everything is built on top of it. So the snake is the platform for ancient knowledge, and you build on top of that with whatever archetype is for that plane, that realm, that dimension. So this is not a class, okay? The channel for the class should be in the show notes. This is not my personal channel. So the channel for my personal should be in the show notes. So I will say some things in terms of housekeeping. I'm not gonna come on the channel anymore and talk about my personal self. I may from time to time, every 7th video or so, give 1 or 2 personal examples, but I can't use the temple channel as a platform for myself. So if you want to subscribe to me because you like me and my personality, great. You need to go to Ablosi Center for Sacred Living. That's the name of the channel. If you're interested in tarot and tutorials, and you're really into tarotmancy, cartomancy, divination, then you need to go to, it's called Mystery School of Sacred Arts. That's the name of the channel, okay? Vertex of Abundance is a supreme Vodun principality. Do you understand me? Please hear me very well. And I'm sorry, I've been messy, I've been unrefined, I've been inelegant. I understand. Part of my challenge is moving past inertia because I'm like Shiva that way, mighty and powerful, but I am inert. I am so much better meditating under a tree, not talking to nobody for a good 3 weeks. I only want other priests to come talk to me and to give me food. Otherwise, please leave me be. I can withdraw from any attachments. I may love you, spend every single day with you for several years, and then never think of you again. It's not something that is like negative. It's a spiritual thing. Spiritual people can do this. Isolation is really good for spiritual people. Humans, I'm very disappointed with humanity at present, but I cannot fault humanity because we've been lied to, we've been conditioned and programmed. 98% of the people on the surface of the planet are slaves. Literally, they have a slave instrument called their birth certificate. If you have a serial number on your birth certificate, you are owned by the Vatican. I could go on, but we got a mystery school for that. You hear me? So it has been an honor and a pleasure to serve you. Thank you for allowing me the privilege to do so. I'm thoroughly aware that you have other viewing options, and I appreciate you for making us and me, myself, one of yours. Yes, I was Priestess Gorgeous once upon a time, but I'm actually a Ablosi. That is the name I choose to live by. Ablosi. Ablosi Ma. You can call me Baba Sakpata. You can call me King T, but I prefer Ablosi Ma or Zafkiel, Archangel Zafkiel. Those are the 2 names that I resonate the most with. And we in African culture, we don't put our business on no book, on no internet, on no Google. So if you really want to know who Ablosi is, look up the Hindu mythology of Aditi. Aditi. If you want to know more about Ablosi and not Aditi, come to the Vudun Gate. Now, if you want to understand who King T is, because you will never hear what that name is until you come to Africa and get named, go and look up the Archangel Zaphiel, Tzaphikiel, Zaphiel. There doesn't always need to be the second I, okay? And that's about the best I could do, because the reason a person needs to prepare themselves for initiation into the mysteries is because calling certain names, emitting certain vibrations, going into certain energies, it could be dangerous if not harmful. It, at the very least, it unlocks certain things in you which you might not be prepared for. A person with a blocked heart chakra shouldn't be so focused on raising their kundalini. A person who has a calcified pineal gland shouldn't be focused on being a tantrika, okay? A person who can't even clean their butthole correctly shouldn't be worried about wearing all white. You understand? So there's basic preparations and protocols, and I can't facilitate groups and circles and spaces that's not reticent of these facts. Up until recently, we have been unrefined and elegant and messy, and I cannot have us acting a fool anymore. I am trying to present you to the goddess. Do you understand? I'm trying to secure your place in God's house. Do you understand? I'm trying to secure your place in the promised land. Do you understand? This other shit is just that, some fuckery, a distraction. And I'm here to support you. I love doing tarot because it brings people to me that have openness and curiosity. I love students. I have the mind of a professor and the heart of a social worker, but see, everybody else sees everything but that. And it's because I've been abused and I've been tired. I had mold poisoning, I had a brain abscess, I had enemies just getting close. You know what happened? My heart grew really cold. And for a person who's trying to put their soul in my hands and give me their trust and their devotion, that's not fair. And it's not safe. Not to me, not to them. To have a duty and responsibility, God duties and responsibilities, and I'm here to own that. So I got to make some changes. And part of the change was me peacing out, because I will cut it all, walk away and build new. Truly, truly. So I want to tell you, children, if you left me for whatever reason, it is time to return. You'll do that according to you and your own standards. And I need to say something that might offend you. It might prolong some shadow for you. 90+% of people who leave me end up returning. Because when you leave your huno, when you leave your king, you never leave your spirits. And you see, until I teach you how to honor your spirits, you're gonna be sent back to me. I don't care if you got your naming ceremony. Unless you have another West African voodoo practitioner, you're going to have some challenges. And understand that I am exalted. I haven't gone through all my ceremonies. I've done all my remote ceremonies, but I have not gone through all my ceremonies. But I'm saying I'm exalted, meaning being in my house has some prestige to it. And this is not the place or the time or really necessary to talk about that. There needs to be some humility. Do you understand? Okay. So if you leave your huno, if you leave your baba, if you leave your teacher, you never leave your spirits. You never leave your ancestors. And if you don't know how to take care of them properly, what will happen is within 18 months, you'll start to lose your fortune, you'll start to lose your luck, then you'll start to lose your beauty, your health, and then you'll be screaming out to the Voodoo and they won't come answer you. And so that's when you get sent back to me. If you think you know everything because you got your naming ceremony and you still gone, have you been to Africa yet? Because if the answer is no, honey, I got another truth for you. So the Africa trip is every year, August, September, or December, January. What I would suggest is you do like my plan. If you go August, September 1 year, the following year you go December, January, then the following year you go August, September. This is called pilgrimage. You have to go home and do Zogbe. You have to go home and get Ifa in your hand. There's a difference between opening up Ifa and having Ifa in your hand. Now, if you get called a Vudunsi, a Tasina, or Hunsi, or Huno, you have to do that specific ceremony. Otherwise, there's still secrets that you don't get known. And the thing about it is, the reason why we call it an oral tradition is because once you do your ceremony, the spirits will come teach you themselves. People always ask me, how you know this? How you know that? Where can I find it? You can't go find it in Google. Sekmet, that's what Sekmet taught me. I am a Sphinx priestess. I am a Sphinx, meaning cobra plus dragon equals the Sphinx. Cobra plus lion equals the Sphinx. Do you understand? It's the Leo-Virgo cusp. Virgos and Libras are the earth angels. Do you understand? Cancers are the queens, Leos are the kings. Do you understand? I could educate you more, but we're already on time, at time. So the shadow here is just to get speaking. I will take responsibility for that. I always mean very well. I'm not a malicious person. I have love in my heart. You know, I give the clothes off my back. I give away my last dollar. I donate 30% of my income. I'm not a malicious person at all. Where I do run into challenges is I don't disclose my intention. I don't disclose my plan. And people are waiting on me and they don't know what they're waiting on. They don't know where I'm leading them. They don't know the direction in which we're going. That can elicit a lot of fear inside an uninitiated person. I understand and I accept responsibility for that. Another thing I want to say is if you ever paid me and you think that there's some reason that you needed to get a refund, go and get a refund from wherever you issued payment from. Because if I refund your money myself, it will wreck your life. I don't mean that to threaten you, but you're asking the goddess for your money back. I always forget to do this at the beginning of the video. We're drinking tedede today, which is this sweet mate with fruit in it. The fruit I have is puree of pineapple and grapefruit and a little bit of stevia. Tedede is a sweetened mate, and mate is a caffeinated tea. I'm usually drinking either chai or tedede, so that's what we have today, tedede. T-E, capital D-E, capital D-E, and that last E has a little above the top, okay? So yeah, that's this gorgeous Oracle report. This is gonna be the most nitty gritty of an Oracle report ever. We're gonna go to sweeter and kinder. I'm gonna return to warm and fuzzy the best I can, especially on the Temple channel, Vertex of Abundance. You know, I honor you, I praise you, I thank you for being here with me today. Thank you so much, I love you. I gotta take some videos off the channel and that's gonna be regular. So understand that we have the public, people on the outside, they don't know nothing. We have no differentiation of them, they're basically outside. And then we have people who are insiders, but they're basically just members. There's something that makes them part of us. Maybe they think like us. Then we have students. So the members get access to the archives. The students get access to what we call glossario. Also the rubric, meaning you can go through your self-study, self-initiation. And then we have those who are named, regardless if they've done their ceremonies or not. But this is when you have access to what internally is called occultismo, which is just the grimoire. So that's when you have access to a house mama and you get the plan and you get notified of all the ceremonies and rituals and the cleansings and the purifications, and you can plug and play, okay? And then we have people who have done their ceremony. Mainly this card represents the Togbe ceremony. Now there are other words for this. So this is an Ifa V, somebody has open Ifa, but if you don't have open Ifa, you can just be a member of the temple, meaning whenever you're ready to confront Ifa, because you have to prepare yourself, okay? This is called a Bokonvi, and I'll do this in another video in more detail. Bokonvi means that you have your naming ceremony, and we're learning, when the names come out, each of those names come with a gift or a power. And so you're learning how to recognize the sign in the Ifa, because we do divination by cowries. Me personally, I do cartomancy, tarot-mancy. I'm an augmentor, divination by omens. So I read bones, I read shells, I read crystals. I can even read chicken innards and spider legs. I can piss on the ground on a hot Sunday and do divination, okay? Augmency is what that's called. I'm an augmentor. I read omens. I'm a true, genuine oracle by birth. So those are the 3 levels of initiation for the basic public, okay? We have Ifavi, Bokonvi, and a bride. A bride just means they're ready to receive their celestial endowment. They're ready to receive a position in the temple. They're ready to be elevated, exalted in the community, because now they can do work under our name. So I'm looking for brides. Maybe you're a bride to me, probably not. I eat pussy, I don't date women. I like men, I don't date them. I'm gonna say it like that because it's how it is. So when you come into Vadun, that makes a lot of sense. When you're on the outside, that can sound scary because commingling with a teacher like that, you shouldn't do it without a strong intention. But a bride doesn't need to be me. We may never come at each other like that. It just means you receive your cane, you receive your necklaces, your lekes, sometimes they're called. You receive your ring, you receive, some people have to put like lambskin by their bed, you know, you receive your accoutrement. Also, we'll know what lineage you are once you're at this level. This level means you've gotten all your stuff out the way. You've presented yourself to the throne, you've presented yourself to the community, you have your own house now, or you have, it's like getting your military commission. You go from being enlisted to commissioned, okay? Now, in terms of retractions and revisions, I'm not gonna talk about that this week, but what I will do is put some links in the show notes to some videos I had to remove because those are personal videos. They don't need to be here on the channel because the channel here, Vertex of Abundance, it's about timely versus timeless advice. Meaning according to a cycle, it's gonna be expired, irrelevant at some point or time. Okay, so let's do the reading here. So if there's some fear with me, it means you need to learn how to approach me. Approach me like I'm a hungry lion. If that doesn't make sense, don't worry, because that's where we need to start. And I wish I could be more humble. I have a lot of humility, but I can't always. If I gotta be nice, I gotta take a little bit of humility away so you can hear me clearly. Don't come to me without a clear intention. Don't do it. And don't come to me ranting and raving. Like I was talking about those people who need a refund. Everybody who needed a refund got the refund, okay? But if I send your money back, I'm fucking your life. It's better you go to PayPal and say, give me this money back. I don't want to fuck with this person no more. And there was a time when I got a bunch of money for people and I was planning to do whatever, teach the class, and I fell ill. I had mold poisoning and a brain abscess. Literally, there was an infection in my brain. I wasn't even there. I was gone. We lost Gorgeous for a minute. Do you understand? There was a lot of refunds that got issued during that time. Y'all have like 6 months from the time you pay me to ask for a refund. The thing about it is if I myself manually issue a refund, it's gonna come with a lot of loss of luck. Meaning I might send your money back and I don't wanna make threats. So let me give you some examples. You may lose your job, you may not get a promotion, you may go through a divorce and lose half your assets. The list goes on. So for me, I don't issue refunds. I would rather come and heal the relationship and honor the agreement, because that to me is what you call confronting karma. I believe there's a few of you, less than 2 handfuls, that I have karma with. I work with about 400 people a year. So if in the last 5 years of working, I have karma with a dozen people, I don't like it, but I can live with it. Do you understand? I can only think of one person who didn't get a refund because they paid me on Cash App, and I'd rather handle up on the agreement with them because this person needs to come to the Vudun. And I knew if I sent them some money back, I would fuck their life, excuse me. So that's the situation. That's everything. I'm here, I'm back. I've been back for a minute. I just didn't know how to come at you in a way that was nice, kind, and polite, because we've been acting stupid, me and myself included. Just a bunch of fuckery, me and myself included. I don't believe y'all should be following me if you don't know the direction I'm taking you. And I don't believe y'all should be sticking around if you don't know my intention or my plans. But see, that's sharing my intention and my plans ain't the same as explaining myself, which I do not do. It agitates me. And you see, I do this practice of finding peace. And me, I'm a ruler, so I need to be agitated. But see, I need to have a strong practice of returning to peace all the time. Because being agitated means something needs to be addressed, and I might need to get off the throne and handle up on some business. So that's why I'm saying I need queens, I need hunsis, I need casinos to support me, because we have a nation to build. You see, my bodega, people were asking what happened to your online store. I can't have people selling things in that store without a voodoo naming ceremony. I can't have people helping me with the YouTube channel. I can't have people here in the temple space without a voodoo naming ceremony. There are people in Portland who watch my YouTube channel, who want to join my sister circle, who have to be outsiders until they open up Ifa and have a voodoo naming ceremony. I was getting into trouble all the time. I would pour my heart and soul into people because I loved them, and the spirit would rip them away from me because they don't have a voodoo naming ceremony. So I'm Baba, I'm strict, I'm severe, I'm sober, I'm stern, I'm Saturn. Baba Sakpata, Sakpata is Saturn, Havioso is Jupiter, Chamba is Venus, Ogun is Mars, Mamida is the sun, Mamiwata is the moon, Legba is Mercury, Tohosu is the stars, Ade is the asteroids. Mawusag Polisa is Neptune. Any king has Uranus attached to their crown. Any queen has Neptune attached to their crown. Pluto is Mawusag Polisa. Okay, so there you go, how it is, what it is. I want you to be very clear on expectations going forward, because I won't hesitate to disabuse you of any foolish notions. And I'll do so as always kindly, but I won't always be nice about it, especially if I have to repeat myself. And you can expect from me whatever you expected from me before. I'm sorry that I wasn't in a place to do it. I was ill, I was sick, and I had enemies inside my house and disease inside my body. I'm sorry, that's no excuse. I take full responsibility, but there's an explanation at the very least. Do you understand? I'm now prepared to lead, if you would. I went all the way to the side of my masculine, I went all the way to the side of my feminine, and I'm right in between. I am a two spirits. I am a queen in the body of a king, Melchizedek. And I know the order, Ago Togbeloso, in the naming ceremony. Do you understand? So I want to have this for you. I want you to know who you are. What blood in your body makes you sacred? When you become a Bokono, to know what keys, what access, what privileges, credentials the Vodun have given you for your divination. Different Bokonvis can see different signs in the divination. A person without Aida Wedo is not going to be able to tell you very deeply, very well what she's saying. They may be able to recognize her, but they're not going to be able to say this and this and this and this. They'll be able to say, oh, you need a Wedo Bokono. And I know one. She's in this village, this town, this country over here. Here's her email. Here's her WhatsApp. So we need to manage expectations so that I can honor agreements. I'm very into honoring agreements. See, people want to love and all that shit. I need space, I need time, I need silence. You know what makes me happy? You know what makes me horny? Excuse my language. Shared beliefs, shared ideals, shared values. Not how sexy you are, not no physical touch, not no quality time. I like small gifts because I love tarot cards, but I don't even like physical things. I collect art, I collect tarot, I collect rugs, I collect stamps on passports, that's it. All this other stuff ain't no nothing. Truly, genuinely, and sincerely. So what we must know is that I have set the tone, I have spoken, and so it is. Do you understand? The ground has been laid. So if you need to unsubscribe, go ahead and do that. All the videos that I've been doing, they're gonna be done, but on another channel. And you'll hear about them here, but it will never be more than like a 5-minute blurb to send you somewhere else, okay? The two things that you're gonna get here is the Soul Purpose Saturday and the Gorgeous Oracle Report, and it'll come every other week. So the Soul Purpose Saturday, Gorgeous Oracle Report. Soul Purpose Saturday, Gorgeous Oracle Report. Do you understand? Now, there's some videos that go along with those, and they're done by yours truly, so they'll be on my channel, but you'll be notified of them here, and you can click through to that other thing. Now, it's really easy to become a member of the temple, and I'm not going to talk about that until the website goes back live. We had a malicious character in the gate that was doing all types of criminal things, and their intention was to take me down. And you know, I wonder about those grays that are like, they travel through time as secret agents to take powerful people down. I don't want to root toot like that, you know? Because I should not be so full of myself that way, especially with Mars in the 9th house. Let me be quiet. But it reminds me a lot of that, like and you know, when you read my astrology, it does say that I'll be a lot more famous after death than I will be in real life. And actually, for me, I discovered that I have Mercury retrograde at the time of my birth. So it'll make a lot of my 10th house, career, reputation, and my 7th house, one-on-one relationships go haywire. So unless a person confronts me, unless a person comes to me and says I have an issue, I don't care. Because actually, I'm going to learn through the mistakes. But you see, my duty as a sovereign, my duty as a ruler, my duty as a builder, as a nation builder is important to me. And see, I'm not gonna let nobody, no thing, including myself, get in the way of that. I have people's souls in my hands, spiritual voodoo children. I ain't got no time for fuckery. I can't be co-signing no bullshit. And you see, if I was kind and polite about it before, expect some changes. Check those links in the show notes. It's been an honor and a pleasure to serve you. Thank you for allowing me the privilege to do so. Until we meet again, until we read again, namaste, dandavat, and ashe. Remember, again, the tea today was tedede, T-E-D-E-D-E. It's a sweet mate, usually with ice. It's a sweet, cold mate. That's what makes the dede. It's sweet and it's cold. Usually they add fruit to it to make it sweet, okay? So it's mate sin palo, meaning mate without the stems. It's non-smoked virgin mate, meaning younger. So it's greener, not brown. And it's, I added ginger, I added peach, I added grapefruit, I added pineapple, and stevia, okay? Peace be with you, peace be upon you. Talk to you soon. Bye, everyone. Love you very much. Thank you for sticking with me.